Chapter 22. The Raj'i Incident. The Hamra al-Assad Campaign. The following day, after his return to Medina after the Battle of Uhud, Prophet Muhammad was informed that the Quraysh were to return and had planned to attack Medina. Upon hearing this, the Prophet decided to pursue the Qurayshi army, both to prevent any possible attack and to show that the Muslims had not been weakened. He wanted only those who participated in the Battle of Uhud only a day before to join the campaign. Notwithstanding the fact that they had only just returned from Uhud, and despite their exhaustion, and some of them even being wounded, they willingly accepted the call to join. Meanwhile, Jabir ibn Abdullah, who had been unable to participate in the Battle of Uhud, sought permission from Prophet Muhammad to take part in this campaign. Jabir's father had been martyred at Uhud. When Jabir told the Prophet that although he wanted to participate at Uhud, his father had entrusted his 7 or 9 sisters to his care, as there was no one else who could look after them, and this is why he could not join. The Prophet granted him special permission. Prophet Muhammad went to Hamra al-Assad, 8 miles from Medina, with a force of 500 men. Learning of these developments, the Quraysh abandoned their intention to go to Medina and returned instead to Mecca. Staying in Hamra al-Assad for 5 days, the Prophet returned to Medina on 17 Shawwal, 2nd of April 625. Sometimes mentioned alongside the Battle of Uhud and sometimes separately, the campaign is said to have been carried out with the purpose of regaining the repute and standing of the Muslim state, which had been damaged at Uhud. With this campaign, the Muslims consolidated the authority shaken by their defeat at Uhud, and demonstrated first and foremost to the Quraysh and to the other Arab tribes that they still retained their strength and self-assurance. The Raj'i Incident. Several months after the Battle of Uhud, a delegation from the Adal and Al-Qara tribes came to Medina, and, stating that Islam had begun to spread within their tribes, requested that Prophet Muhammad send representatives to them who could teach them about Islam and how to read the Quran. The delegation of 10 people, headed by Casim ibn Thabit, or Marsad ibn Abu Marsad, that the Prophet sent, camped beside the well of Raj'i, located between Makkah and Usfan in territory belonging to the Hudayl tribe. Meanwhile, one of the tribal representatives who had requested a teaching delegation from the Prophet and who set off together with this delegation went to the Banu Liyan clan of the Hudayl tribe, who they knew to bear enmity towards the Prophet, and notified them of the whereabouts of the delegation. Immediately mobilizing, an armed group of 100 men from the Banu Liyan conducted a raid against the Muslims, 4th Safar, July 625. 7 companions, Casim ibn Thabit and Marsad ibn Abu Marsad included, were martyred. Of the remaining 3, Abdullah ibn Tariq were killed on the road. Hubayb ibn Adi and Zayd ibn Dasina were taken to Makkah and sold to the Quraysh, who wanted to avenge the death of their relatives at Badr. Imprisoning these 2 companions for some time, the Makkan Polytheists took them off to the region of Tanum on the outskirts of the city at the end of the sacred months. Here, in front of a crowded audience, the Quraysh told them that they would release them on the condition that they rejected Islam. Reiterating their commitment to Islam and Prophet Muhammad, even under these intolerable conditions, they demonstrated that they were not afraid of dying in the path of God and His Messenger. They were thereafter martyred under torture. Before being killed, Hubayb ibn Adi requested permission to pray 2 units of prayer, and, to prevent them from saying that he prolonged his prayer due to a fear of death, completed his prayer in the shortest time possible. For this reason, this prayer became, throughout history, a tradition for Muslims who believe that they are to be killed unjustly. The Raj'i incident and subsequent developments caused great sorrow and distress in Medina. Due to this attack and massacre, which constituted a casus belli, the Prophet organized a military expedition to reciprocate, with a force of 200 men, 20 on horseback against the Lihan tribe, 6th Rabi al-Awwal, July 627. However, as the tribe learned of the campaign and retreated to the mountains, the Prophet returned to Medina after spending 2 days camped in their territory.